mentioned two races this weekend. The feature race, round 6, is coming up in just a moment. First, though, we go to the highlights from yesterday's race number 5. And a heavy downpour not long before the race made it a wet race. In the front, Matthew Brabham on the pole in the blue car, Gabby Chavez, the red car on the outside. They race into turn number 1. Jack Harvey taking a peek to the inside. Alex Barron in the red 4 car looking to the outside. Brabham maintains the lead. Chavez, though, right on his rear wing. Here's a look at what the drivers are dealing with on board with Alex Barron. That's from behind Matthew Brabham's car. Brabham still on lap 1, maintain the lead. This is also on lap 1 with Gabby Chavez getting a look at him. But Brabham is going to come right back. Chavez won't hold the lead for long. And then Chavez goes off track and loses several positions. Battle for second place. Alex Barron and Zach Veach, the championship leader. Veach on the inside makes contact with Barron, and Zach Veach goes around. Here's Chavez going at it with Jack Harvey. And Harvey coming right back. Chavez, meanwhile, had engine problems. Lap 18, his race ends. He would finish last in 11th position. Zach Veach had a tough day, too. He finished in 9th, but still maintained the points lead because of Chavez's engine issues. Matthew Brabham had no problems. He cruises to his first Indy Lights win. Luis Rizia finishes in 2nd. Matthew Brabham, a winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And here's how the points look after 5 of 14 rounds of the 2014 Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires Championship. Veach stretches his lead by 3 points on Chavez, but now Rizia is a little closer in the fight. Jack Harvey and Matthew Brabham in the top 5. After that, we see Alex Barron with another solid result. Not the second that he had at Barber, but he is 6th in the points. Barry with the pole sitter.
Yesterday's Indy Lights race was not on the slick Cooper tires, but rather, of course, on the treaded rain tires. And now it comes a whole new dynamic here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Starting on pole, of course, is Luis Rizia. Now, let me ask you the difference in those tires and the conditions. How different is it going to be for you in the cockpit and the feel of the car?
Well, we had a lot of testing before the qualifying. And we qualify on the dry, so we pretty much know how to handle the car on the dry. The wet race yesterday was eventful and then was really nice, a good action between drivers, and was really difficult by the end also. The tires were winning away, and then it was difficult to handle the car on the track. But now with the slick tires, it's always going to be about pace. So you print the pace from the beginning, and then you start to be in the front.
Time now for Anders Insider. With Anders Krohn, what are the keys to this race?
Well, despite the fact that all the teams and drivers mainly are based in Indianapolis, none of them have raced on this Indy Road Course before, so I think we're looking forward to an incredibly exciting race. The second point here is the fact that the straightaways are so long and there's such a good opportunity for drafting here. I think we're going to see a lot of passing in this race, a lot more so than we've seen in the previous few races. And the final point is, will this be the race when Gabby Chavez and Zach Veach come together? They've kept it so clean this entire time so far this year. But is this the race when their heads will butt and they go out of the race together, or will they keep it clean?
Here is how they will line up. It's based on either your second best qualifying lap or your fastest lap in the first race. Well, it was wet yesterday, so these are from qualifying. Rizia and Chavez in the front row. There's Harvey and Brabham on row number 2. The championship leader, Zach Veach, on the inside of row number 5. And here we go for the green flag. We're underway at Indianapolis, and Rizia in the Lucas Oil white and red car has the early jump. There's on board. We are on lap 2 because they had an aborted start the first time around. Rizia jumped it. Rizia with Harvey looking to the inside maintains the advantage. On board with Alex Barron now. So difficult, Anders, to get through this section.
It really is, and on lap 1, everyone wants to grab that lead. And the thing about it is, you come off the front straightaway of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is so wide, into this tight corner as we have contact with Zach Meyer and Juan Piedrahita. Not quite sure what happened there, but clearly those two fighting for the same real estate on the race. Big
damage to Piedrahita.
Big damage for Juan Piedrahita. Looked like he's going to pull off track there. Hopefully he can make it back to the pits, get a new front wing on, and get back racing again.
And another spin. That's Zach Veach, the championship leader, is around.
Zach Veach, did he get hit there, or was that a mistake? I'm not sure. I couldn't really see. But that's obviously going to be a huge blow to his championship run.
Well, he had difficulty yesterday finishing in ninth, but still maintained the points because Chavez lost an engine, and he just lost it there.
Incredible. I saw the Matthew Brabham locked up a wheel, and I'm wondering if he got a little bit thrown off by that, went into the corner a little bit too deep, and then just ran out of room and spun the car. Again, outside the ideal line on these racing lines, it's really, really tough to keep your grip.
This is the opening lap. This is the contact between Meyer and Piedrahita. And one more look at this contact. Piedrahita on the inside, Meyer on the outside.
It just looks to me like Meyer wants to keep it tight and Piedrahita wants to track out, and there just isn't enough room. So just an unfortunate racing incident there. I don't think we can call that.
Battle for third back there. Chavez to the inside of Brabham. That's turn number 7, and Brabham off, and Chavez also off course.
I can't believe all the action we're seeing here. Brabham off the track. Obviously, he was a race winner yesterday, and now he is falling back quickly.
And we are under a full course caution. Luis Rizia has the early lead. Jack Harvey has jumped up to second. Stay with us from Indy. Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. An early exit for Juan Piedrahita with Martin Plowman and Anders Krohn. I'm Kevin Lee. This is Indy Lights in the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. We're going to go back to lap number 1 in the contact between Meyer and Piedrahita, Anders.
Yeah, and, it really was just a racing incident. Zach Meyer just squeezing Juan ever so slightly, and Juan still tracking out of the corner. I don't think we can really say that was one of the others' mistake there. Rizia with a fantastic jump there. Again, this is the longest straightaway we see on any road course this year. It's vital to get a good run here so that the guy behind you doesn't get a draft on you, and Rizia did that to perfection. As we can see, the Bilardi teammates getting close and at the back of the field as well. And I think we're going to see a lot more passing here towards the end of the races. So we see Matthew Brabham getting big pressure from Zach Veach here. Brabham goes in to defend his position. Veach is going to try the outside move there. And is he going to be able to make that stick? Oh,
side by side. Right, these are teammates.
That is some respect between teammates right there. But we have turn 4 coming up, which is going to be advantage Brabham.
Very aggressive from Mr. Veach here.
Did they touch? Close. Oh. Brabham misses the corner, and then Veach goes wide.
And look at JP Garcia now with a run on Veach. Is he going to try for a pass? This is astounding. Let's see what happens here. No position change. Meyer to the inside of JP Garcia.
Now, he's not going to get a penalty for Mr. Brabham, because normally when you cut the corner like that, you have to give way to the guy who was on track.
But while we were away, we saw the teammates, Matthew Brabham and Zach Veach, battling just a moment ago, and they are still at it. A race for the 6th position. Coming down the front stretch towards turn number 1, that's Brabham in the blue and white car. Veach, just moments ago, in the red and white car, and Veach gets the position. That's for 6th spot in the race here today, and for important championship points. But Brabham wasn't done yet. The winner yesterday came right back around, just like they did a couple of laps ago. They might have touched the last time. Both went off slightly. This time, no contact. Fretful moments for Michael Andretti and the car owners, but really good racing as we're back live now.
Think about it. What was it that happened? What did you feel in that incident?
Well, it was a tough start. Everybody was moving around. We got into turn 1, and everybody was bottled up. Turn 2, I had 2 cars, one on the outside, one on the inside. I had no space, so one of the cars on the outside just came into me, and we got together, and at that point I was just a passenger. So, yeah, really disappointed, but just have to keep going.
We'll see you here in a couple weeks for the Oval.
Yeah, thank you.
Juan Piedrahita's day has come to an end in car number 77.
That's a battle for 5th position. Anderson is in the 5th position, and here is Brabham going to the inside of his teammate. They will nearly touch and maybe do. And Veach, the championship leader, goes off just a little bit. On board with Matthew Brabham here.
He has caught up to Gabby Chavez quick. Brabham is the quickest guy on track at the moment, having caught up in just a couple of laps from the 2-second gap now down to a half-a-second gap. This is great racing.
Lock up a little bit there into turn number 1. We wondered what the 2 teammates were thinking of each other, Brabham and Veach. Well, Zach Veach will be a lot happier with Matthew Brabham if he can take some points away from Gabby Chavez, his chief contender in the championship. But Luis Rizia may have something to say about that. Third in points coming in, and he's in charge right now in Indianapolis. Stay with us. More to come from the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Now Brabham is chasing down Chavez's teammate Alex Barron for third position.
He is by far the fastest guy on track right now. In just a couple of laps, he's gone from being a few seconds behind Alex Barron to now being right on his gearbox. Zach Veach trying an outside move here in turn one. He's got Pascal Anderson as we see him and Gabby Chavez come together. We talked about this at the top of the show. Is this the race when Gabby Chavez and Zach Veach are going to come together? Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
These are the two championship leaders that make contact coming into turn number one.
This is a bigger blow to Gabby Chavez than it is to Veach, because Veach got going immediately, whereas Chavez was stuck for a bit. That's just two cars trying to go for the same piece of real estate there. I don't think we're going to see anyone being at fault there. That's just a racing incident.
What a disastrous weekend for Gabby Chavez. An engine expired, very rare. We almost never see that in Indy Lights, and he finished last yesterday, and he's going to finish near the back today. Not much better for Zach Veach.
Brabham is just red hot here, wanting to get by that number 4 car of Alex Barron. Looking right, looking left, going to the outside. He's going to try that Zach Veach move, and he's going to run wide and run off the track. And that's going to be his last chance. We're on the final lap here in just a bit, and there is no way he's going to catch back up to Barron and make a pass there.
You can't blame him, though, because Barron took the low end. There was no way he was getting to that inside, so he had to go high side, but so difficult to hang on through that second corner. And just a couple of more chances now for Jack Harvey. He'll have one going into turn 1 and then turn 7 are the best opportunities through turn number 14. Back on the main straightaway. There's the white flag. A little more than 2.5 miles to go for Luis Rizia to be a winner at Indy.
It's now or never for him.
Luis Rizia has been picture perfect so far this race. He's kept his head cool under pressure. Jack Harvey has never been closer than he is right now. His final chance to pass is going to be in turn 7. We're now going through turn 3 and turn 4. He needs a good run out of here through the 5-6 chicane in order to be able to do something. Doesn't look to me like he's going to be close enough to do anything.
He's still 2 or 3 car lengths behind. Holman Boulevard, the backstretch, the second longest section. Harvey will take a peek to the inside. Not close enough.
And that could very well be the end of the race here unless Rizia does a mistake here through the 8, 9, and 10 complex. Really tough section here, back-to-back-to-back corners as he unwinds his hands and only has one braking zone left now for Harvey to take a peek, but he is not close enough, and it's looking likely that Luis Rizia will take his first win. And hey, no better place than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Last braking zone right there, turn number 12. 2 more turns to go for Luis Rizia. Sam Schmidt Motorsports has not won in 2014. Rizia and Harvey can make it a 1-2. Back on the main straightaway, the twin checkers waving. And Luis Rizia has won for the first time in Indy Lights, and he does it at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
What a win, and what a way to come back for Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports. They've won so many races at this track, and they are back.
Jack Harvey finishes in the 2nd position. We'll hear from the winner coming up in a moment.
Luis Rizia, for the 5th time in the last year, you have won an open-wheel race. First time here, obviously, in the Indy Lights, presented by Cooper Tires. Congratulations on a win here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks to the team. I mean, was difficult to earn this one. It was really difficult, and thanks God I could keep it. I don't know how I did, but it was really good. And you know, I won in each category that I have passed, and I was pushing so hard to do this. And, you know, now it came a little bit late, but, you know, we keep pushing to repeat that result.
You know, Jack was behind you, and that lead started to shrink in the last quarter of the race, but yet he was in your mirrors all day but couldn't make that move. What were you doing to hold him at bay?
I mean, I don't know. I was just racing normally, tried to be clean with him also. You know, he had a better car for sure than me, and I just hold off him as much as I could. It was so difficult. My rear was all over the place, and my gear shift was not good. But yeah, you know, we won. That's it.
We'll let you celebrate and enjoy this one.
Thank you.
All right, he has won here on the road course just a couple of weeks now. Luis Rizia will try to win the oval for the Freedom 100 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Another race and another podium for Jack Harvey, but I got to tell you, it looked for a while there, like in turn one in particular, you were trying to get that move in on Luis and just couldn't get it done. Heck of a run, but when did you realize that he might have just had a little bit too much for you?
To be honest, I felt like I had his pace the whole race. It's just so difficult to overtake. As soon as you get close, you get stuck in what we call dirty air. When the air from under the car gets all messed up, it ruins the dynamics of the car. And I kept it flat through turn 14 to try and get the straight. And to be honest, at that moment, I was just waiting for him to make a mistake. I was looking just so he knew that I was there and I wasn't backing away. And he drove a really good race, didn't make the mistakes, and I could only finish second.
Another run, another podium at Indianapolis. Congratulations on a solid run.
Thanks, mate.
All right, Jack Harvey, a second-place finish here behind, of course, Luis Rogers.
Great day for Sam Schmidt Peterson Motorsports, and here's the championship. It was 12, now it's 5, and look at it. Razia now in the second position. He was 30 back before this race began. Gabby Chavez, Anders, falls to third.
Yeah, and huge comeback here for Luis Razia. We saw Zach Veach and Gabby Chavez pulling away in points before this race, and we thought they were going to be untouchable. And now we see Luis Razia just way up there.
Really good racing today. Here are the final results. Razia, Harvey, Barron, Brabham, Zach Veach in seventh. Anders had a really eventful day.
And have a look at the results here. 5 rookies in the top 5 here. That's the first time we've seen that all season long with the veterans. Zach Veach and Gabby Chavez all the way down in 7th and 8th.
Matthew Brabham has a good weekend. He won yesterday and did some good racing today to get to 4th.